Never encountered one, but my relatives did, as told by my mom. The first time was when my aunt newly gave birth to her eldest son back in '71. She heard a loud thud on the roof during midnight. Then a couple of minutes later, she saw a long yarn-like, slimy thing coming out from a hole in the ceiling and started hovering over her baby. She started slapping the thing away, but it just moves unnaturally. Then my other aunt, their eldest sister, woke up, and when she saw what was happening, she immediately got a pair of scissors and cut the thing. My aunt never slept without scissors beside her after that. The next one was back in the '80s in Bataan. My eldest cousin saw a wild boar in their property, which was very forest-like back then, and tried to hunt it. When he's closing in on it for a couple of meters, he saw the boar suddenly turn into a man. He got so scared that he just turned around and left right after. Lastly, was when in the '89 when my mom was pregnant with me. She had a habit of sewing way past midnight. On one of those nights, my dad's cousin and his wife suddenly dropped in, checking in on her. Apparently, they saw a huge, monstrous black bird flying and circling our house. They just wanted to warn my mom, who it turns out had been hearing a tick-tick on the tree at the front yard. Since then, she always had a good, big hunk of garlic on her person for the rest of her pregnancy. I have stories from relatives and neighbors. My late Lola told us that when she was pregnant with my uncle, she noticed this old lady who she suspected of being an Aswang because she kept following my Lola and kept loitering outside of their home. So one day, she challenged the old lady to a walking contest. According to her, pregnant ladies smell so good to the Aswangs that they can't resist the temptation even if they have to be in close proximity. Another one was when my aunt was pregnant with my cousin. When the same thing happened, another old lady kept on loitering outside their home and followed her wherever she went. It got creepier because they used to live in a traditional elevated bamboo house, and one night, they heard pig-like noises coming from below their house, but they didn't have any livestock at that time. Another time was that they woke up with a black cat sleeping right beside my auntie. There was also one time where she was on the way to our house. We lived just 5 minutes from each other, and the old lady followed her, so her eldest daughter ran to us to let us know, so we ran off to get to our aunt, and sure enough, there was an old lady that's a few meters away from her, just smiling. Years after that, our neighbor, who lived just beside our house, was pregnant, and at night, we started hearing noises that sounded like kikik. There were also reports of our other neighbors seeing a huge bird on a tree beside our home. A few weeks after that, there was a commotion outside our home. We got out and saw that our neighbors were all looking at something far away. We took our most powerful flashlight and pointed it on the tree everyone was looking at, and we saw 2 pairs of big glowing eyes. People were saying that we saw a kikik or an Aswang's familiar, and apparently the person who owns the tree the kikik was staying on gets good luck. I heard rumors that when the kikik stayed on his tree, his roosters never lost a single sabong match. Last one, and I don't know if it was an Aswang. But when I was younger, my other uncle who lived closer to the sea told us that the night before their neighbors caught a lady, I don't know how or why, who had very long hair that covered her face. My uncle said that close to 10 men, including him, were trying to pull her up from the sea, but she wouldn't budge. The lady told them to just leave her be and she won't bother them anymore. So the men let go of the rope, the lady walked deeper and deeper into the sea and just disappeared, never to be seen again. In Padre Garcia, Batangas, white ladies are supposedly still frequently seen. Also red-eyed rabbits which multiply when you toss them away, and a large black dog. Somewhere in Visayas, Aklan I think, there's a rule in which if some random person claps you on the back, you must clap them back too, because you will lose your energy when you get home. Energy suckers, I think. When my aunt was pregnant some 10 years ago, a tick-tick landed on their roof, and its long tongue slithered into their bedroom. My uncle took a big knife and cut it off, after which it shrank and dried up. This happened in Quezon City. In another place in Visayas, Aswang families have begun sending their grandkids to Metro Manila or urban areas to study, in an effort to keep up with the rapidly changing world. My ninang said that this has caused their Aswang population to decline. I've actually spoken with someone who came from one such family, freaking Philippine Normal University. She says she doesn't want to learn their old ways with nature alchemy and whatnot. And lastly, there's supposed to be an old ragged powerful Aswang in Malacanang who came from far south. He was said to have fingered a daboenyo made decades ago.